And we'll go for it. Right, so starting off in standing, I'm just kind of building on what we've done over the past few days. Get rid of my chair. Squats are the furry helpers here today. So I might finish up with bites and scratches again, but that's just, you know, part and parcel of it. Don't look at me like that. Right, all right, let's break it into squats. Sitting the hips right back and down. And you go as low as you want to. We're using this really more about hip mobility, just as a variation instead of always doing sort of frogs and 90-90s. So nice and steady to start with, nice and slow. So at some point, I'm going to turn this into a jumping squat, at which point the arms need to reverse. So when you jump, you're going to have arms back as you squat down, and then arms up as you come up. So just practice the different arm movement. Arms come down as you go down, arms come up as you come up. And I would practice coming up onto the toes as well, like you're going to jump. So load the spring, up into your squat, but sorry, up into a heel lift. So sinking down, lift it up, sinking down, up. So you're loading the spring and releasing it. Just like you're going to jump as high as you can in the air. That's it. Try and keep your chest lifted. So as you squat down, you don't want to finish up with your chest point to the floor. You want to keep your chest lifted. Up onto the toes, trying to hold your balance. Last two. And last one. And release. And then we're going to take it into our walkouts from there. So as we've been doing all week, squat nice and low. Your heels can come up if you wish. But squat down, find your hands on the floor, walk out to your plank. And from there, we're going to add in some mindful mountain climbers. So all it is nice and slow. So right knee towards right elbow. It doesn't have to touch. And back. Left knee, left elbow. And back. Pivot onto your side plank. One leg lift. You could just hold your plank, or you could do one leg lift with me. Pivot back through plank, over to the other side. Hold your balance. One leg lift. Slight pause at the top. Lower it down. Back through your plank. Same as before, lifting the hips, nice and high. Walk the hands back. Keep the legs as straight as you can till the heels come down, if they will. You find that hamstring stretch, and then bend the knees to come on out of it. Wide through the legs again. Back into your squat jumps. We're not actually going to leave the floor, all right? So squat down. As you come up, the heels lift, and then let it flow. So just practicing the coordination really more than anything else. Getting the arms involved. Last three, last two, last one. And then squat all the way down, find the floor, walk out, T-plank. Same thing, knee to elbow, whichever side. Knee to elbow, the other side. Pivot into your side plank. One leg lift, so you look like a star. Beautifully done. Lower it down, over to the other side. One leg lift. Lower it down. Back through center, hips up. Walk the hands back. Big hamstring stretch. Bend the knees to come on out of it. So your feet out, come back to your squats. Same thing. Squat down, heel lift. So just getting the calves involved for that power and push off. Last couple. Last one. And then all the way down again, however you want to get there. Doesn't matter. Walking out into your plank. Knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. Pivot into your side plank. Leg lift. Or hold. Don't have to do the leg lift. Back through center, the other side. Leg lift. And release. Back through to plank, lift the hips. Walk the hands back. Find your hamstring stretch. Just briefly. And then this time, bend the knees. So you're in that goblet squat, my heels are lifted. I'm just going to take the feet a little bit wider. So you can push out into elbows into knees. Forgetting my body parts already this morning. So heels down or heels up, doesn't matter. And you're just gently exploring. So I'm pushing my elbows into my knees just to take my legs that little bit wider, if they will. If they won't, doesn't matter. You are where you are. You might be here. Wherever you get to, you're just moving, oscillating the hips. Again, trying to keep your chest lifted. Yeah. So if I was Superwoman, back to that Superwoman analogy with my triangle on my chest, it would be pointing forward, not at the floor, chest lifted. And then coming down all the way onto your front, coming into, well, let's start with the shoulder rotation actually. So shoulder stretch. So arm out to the side, straight out 90 degrees. As always, don't let the front of the shoulder roll into the floor. Keep it lifted, roll it back away from the floor and then rotate over. So top knee pointing to the ceiling or thereabouts. It might be here pointing over. And then roll back through center, other side. Roll the front of the shoulder away from the mat. Rotate your whole body over. Use the opposite hand to push you over, but make sure the front of the shoulder's not just collapsing into the mat. It might be touching, no problem with it touching, but it doesn't want to just collapse there. You're still active through the shoulder. And then bring it back through center. This time take the arms out overhead. You know where we've been with this all week. So reach the arms long, reach the legs long, allow them to lift. It doesn't need to be a big lift. What you certainly don't want to do is this. You don't want to jerk everything up off the floor. It's got to be smooth. If you jerk everything up off the floor, you're just using your back and your lower back, rather than trying to get a full extension. Hips, shoulders, spine, and just hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower everything down, back to your shoulder stretch, arm out to the side, roll the front of the shoulder away from the mat. Rotate the body over, top knee opening up towards the ceiling. Hold and breathe. Back through center, other side. Roll the front of the shoulder away from the mat. Over you go. Tighter on one side, I'm having to breathe through it. Back through center. Arms and legs away. And when you're ready, reach and lift. Superman or Superwoman. Let's go with Superwoman. I'm sticking with my Superwoman theme. So reach out and hold. So lots of work in the glutes. The neck should be free. Yeah, neck, jaw, all free. Happy smiley face. No scrunching of the face. You should be able to breathe. Hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. I'm just going to roll through that one more time, just because we've got some other stuff coming up, and this is the warm up for it. So same again, roll the shoulder away from the mat, rotate over. Make sure you're still active through that shoulder. You're not just letting it collapse. Back through center, the other side. Roll away. When you're ready, back through center. Reach the arms and legs away. Superwoman, go for a little fly. You can pretend as well, you know. A little rock. Pretend you're flying through the clouds. It's Friday morning. Make sure your neck's free. That is important. Don't crank your head up. Yeah, gaze towards the end of the mat, absolutely, but don't crank your neck. See if you can, when I say see if you can lift a little higher, what I usually see is people go, it shouldn't be like that. If I say lift a little higher, you see if you can, break smooth and controlled. And release down. All right, so we played with bridges to the chair yesterday. If you've got a chair or a bench or anything like that, fine. And you want to do it to the chair, great. But you don't have to. It can still be done from the floor. The reason why I've spent so much time doing it from the floor is to give you time to build up that sort of little bit of strength and resilience in the hamstrings and get you lifting from your glutes and your hamstrings and not just your lower back. So set up with bed, sofa, chair, if you've got one. Don't worry if not, perfectly fine to do it from the floor. We'll do the same as yesterday. We'll start off with both feet. Slight bend in the knee, whether you're on the floor or on your chair. The bigger the bend, the easier it is. So it's up to you how much you want to challenge yourself. Feet are flexed, so bringing the toes back towards your shins. Thighs are pushing together. You know, got that inner thigh squeeze. Might as well strengthen the inner thighs while we're here. Thighs. All right, same as yesterday. Lift up and lower down, nice and slow to start with. Push down in the heels to lift the hips up. If you're pushing down into the heels to lift the hips up, you're less likely to lift from your spine or your lower back muscles. So on hamstrings and glutes, and that comes from pressing through the heels. Keep flexing the feet, keep squeezing the inner thighs, keep lifting and lowering. Steady away. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. If you need to lengthen your hamstrings up towards the ceiling, feel free. Otherwise, we're going straight into our single leg version. Foot still flexed. See if you can still feel the inner thigh doing some work as you lift. For 10, 9. Now keep lifting and lowering as I lose count. But one thing here, if you've taken one foot away, when you come down, you should still feel like you're landing straight across your waistband. In other words, you shouldn't be landing on one side of your pelvis, which tells you you've twisted. If you've twisted, you know you're not strong enough yet to be doing one-legged. Last one. Switch legs. Same on this side, lift and lower. Check in at the back of the pelvis. You should be landing in the middle of your waistband and not on one side. I think we've got 3 more to go. If in doubt, do 3 more. Last 2. Last one. And then as per, take the legs up towards the ceiling, your choice. You can kind of hang on to them and bend and flex, or bend and straighten, or take them up, hold them up, point and flex at the toes. Go for a little walk. Just lengthen off the hamstrings. If they've got a bit grumpy while you've been doing that, which tells you that the glutes aren't doing as much as they should be doing. All right, same thing. Back down with one foot or both, right? So if you're not landing level, stick with both until you build up a little bit of strength. Otherwise, off we go again, either on the floor or on your chair. So we've got 10, 9, keep lifting and lowering. That tap of your bottom down to the floor should be light. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Switch your sides straight to the other side, 10. Last 4. And again, lengthen the hamstrings. legs to the ceiling, whatever you need to do there to ease any discomfort that you may be experiencing in the back of your thighs. And bend. So we get to our little floor. How we do for time? Not so bad. Right, here we go then. So we've been working on beast, stretch, under switch, side kick through, crab. We've got loads to play with. So you start off beast, finding your beast. So instead of hands being directly under shoulders, they're slightly in front, depending on your proportions. Knees are a little bit wider than hip distance. And from there, you're going to hover the knees to beast. Take it into your stretch. So you take the hips back towards the heels, all the way forward. And just check in. If you've got your sort of hands and legs in the right place, when you straighten your legs, you should come into a plank, but with your shoulders just slightly in front of your hands. Yeah, so you should be able to take it back to the beast stretch and forward into plank just by bending and straightening the legs. So you can use this to kind of measure and just make sure that you're in the right place. Easy peasy to start with. So forward to plank, back to beast stretch, forward to plank, and then back to the middle, straight into under switch to a crab. So we go left leg goes under, right arm comes all the way over to your crab position, bottom just hovering off the floor. And then we're going to lift the hips up to open out the shoulders. Lower the hips back down, pick up your left foot, take it under, come back to your beast. Right under switch, right foot goes under crab, hand comes all the way over, lift the hips up to open out the shoulders. So lifting the chest to the sky. So it's a big shoulder stretch. The higher you lift your hips, the more shoulder stretch you get. So it's your choice. Lower the hips, pick up your right foot, back through to beast. You can stick with that version of a two-armed crab, or let's go into a crab reach. So left crab reach, so left leg comes under, right hand comes between the legs. Lift the hips, reach the right arm overhead. The elbow bends, you look down at the bottom hand, and you're reaching with the elbow. Lower the hips, arm comes down, left leg comes back under to beast. Right leg goes through, left arm comes between the thighs. Lift the hips up, looking down at the bottom arm, reaching with the elbow to open the left side of the body. Arm comes back down, hips come back down, right leg comes back through to beast. You notice my knees are kind of creeping up. Yeah, makes it a little bit easier on me. And then we go left kick through. So left leg comes through, kicks out, right arm pulls back. All right. Left leg comes back under to beast. And we go the other side. Right leg kicks out, left arm pulls back. Back through to beast. And then lower the knees and come off your wrists for a moment. All right, so they're what we've been working on so far. I'm going to teach you one more today, kind of just adding on. We've already done it, kind of. This is just a variation. So it's called a wave unload. Not that that matters at this moment in time. So set yourself up again. Tuck the toes under, and when you're ready, hover the knees. Take it back into your beast stretch. Come forward to plank. So you're just checking in. Have I got enough room to come into plank, or do I need to organize myself? From there, I'm going to lift the hips up, just like if you were doing a down dog to a certain extent. So it's called a wave and load because it's supposed to look like a wave. So you're going to tuck the tail and really round the spine. So tucking the tail, rounding the spine, as you start to come forward into your plank. As you hit the plank, the chest lowers slightly, the hips lower slightly, and then the chest lifts and the head lifts. Yeah, so it's supposed to look like a wave. Now, your choice here, I don't want you sagging in your lower back. You've got to be supported. So you might be more in a plank than in this extended position, and that's fine. To go back, it looks like a wave. So the head dips, the chest lifts, the hips lift, and you come back to that rounded position before you finish up back in your down dog with the hips lifted. So same thing, tail, tucks and rounds. As you lower to your plank, hips lower a little bit, then the chest lifts and the head lifts, look forward, rounded back, head lowers. Lift the upper back, lift the lower back, lift the hips, back to your down dog. We're gonna do one more. Chin to chest, around the spine, tuck the tail, lowering through the plank. As you get to your plank position, you continue lowering the hips, but lifting the chest, lifting the face forward. Round it back, chin to chest, lower back, upper back even, lower back lifts, hips lift, and back to your down dog position. And then from there, bend the knees so you're back to your beast stretch, knees hovered, back to middle, beast, and then lower. And come off your wrists for a brief moment. I think we've just got time to kind of run through one of each. I think, let's do it. Right, set up the beast again. Knees hover, take it back into your beast stretch. Come forward to plank, just a normal plank. Just to check in, make sure you've got your proportions. Back to beast. We're going to take left on the switch to crab stretch. So left leg comes under, right arm between the thighs, lift into your stretch. Or just lift the hips with both arms down if it's easier on your shoulders. Lower the hips, left leg comes back through to your beast. Right under switch to crab, stretch and lift up. Lower it down, right leg lifts and you come through, back to beast. From there, we're going to do the side kick through. So left side kick through, left leg kicks out, right arm pulls back, back through to beast. Right side kick through, right leg kicks out, left arm pulls back, back through to beast. From there, you're going to take your hips back to beast stretch. So hips to heels, then lift the hips up. We've got our wave unload, chin to chest, round the spine as you start to come forward. Not quite in the right place. Lower the hips, lift the chest, lift the face. Chin to chest, round the spine, back up. Sit heels or hips to heels, back to your beast stretch, forward to beast, and then lower. And then you can take your weight off your wrists. Oh, got a bit of a sweat on. That's a good thing. Whatever you need to do to take the weight off your wrist. There's actually quite a few mobilizations with this, which I think we'll start to add in as we go along, but you can bring your palms together and circle the wrists. I have a nasty habit of just kind of waggling them about until they ease off a little bit. Whatever works. All right, so coming into lunges then. So we've got our 90-90. Oh, Gail, right. So if pressure on the front of the knee is an issue, so this, switch sides. Pressure on the knee is an issue, you can roll up a towel or have something like a block so that your shin's supported, but your knees actually off the ground. So towel works, or a block, but so your knees off the edge of it rather than on it, if that makes sense. Somebody with an issue with the knee. Right, okay, so 90-90. So we know what that is, right? So it gives you an idea. If you come up from there and you can use your hands, whatever you need to come forward to lift and come up. So it shows you how long your stance needs to be for you to hit 90-90 when you come back down. That makes sense? So balance might be a bit of an issue, but I want you long is basically what we're saying. So starting from here, we're going to drop down into a simple lunge. Stay as upright as you can and aim for as vertical as you can. Just a normal lunge to start with. Last two. And last one. And then you're going to come through into your standing balance. So you're going to come all the way through, come up into a balance, and you'll lift the right, well, whichever leg as high as you can. And then you're going to take hold of it and you're going to pull it in towards your chest as far as it will go. So that's how flexible you are through the front of your hip. And then when you let go of that leg, I don't want it to drop. So when you hold it there, now you have to work a lot harder through the glute on the standing side. You hold and breathe. Now, when you go back to your lunge, you've got to find that super long position again, so that when you lunge, you're back to 90-90 or thereabouts, you know. Last two. And last one, same thing. Come up to your balance, leg lifted as far as you can without your arms. And then once you're there, pull that leg into your chest, then let go and hold it there. Don't let it drop. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Well done. I think we've got just enough time for the other side. So come down to 90-90 first, then whatever you need to do to come back up so that you've got that super long stance. And then we lunge from there. Your knee may or may not touch the floor, doesn't matter. Last two. Last one. Step through to your balance, knee as high as it can be, then take hold of it, pull it even closer to the chest. Let it go, keep it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then step that super long distance back so you can still come to 90-90 as you lunge. 3, 2, last one. Step forward to balance. Ooh, find your balance first, then bring the leg to the chest, hug it in, let it go. This glute should be working, the back glute should be working hard to keep that leg up there. And then release. 2 minutes, very quickly, pretzel onto your side. Hold the top knee, bottom ankle, or whatever you can get hold of. Pull that back leg back behind you, and then open the chest. So as I was talking about with Charlotte yesterday, she was struggling with this. So if you can't really get that kind of sense of opening, you can let this top leg go a little bit. Yeah, so the knee doesn't have to be on the floor. You can kind of play with it. So if you want to get further round and the foot come down, then let the knee come up. And then when you pull on the knee, you'll get more of a stretch down the side of the leg. Your choice. You can kind of play with it. There's no right or wrong with it. It's just playing, breathing, etc. And then release, and we switch sides. And do as I say, not as I do, because I let my foot twang then. Only a little bit, but it definitely twanged. The top knee, bottom ankle. Conscious of getting Nicola to work on time. Pull that back knee back behind you, and then open. And again, if you want to let that top knee kind of go a little bit, so you can feel more of a rotation through the chest and the upper body, that's okay. Or pin that knee down and stretch there. I'm just skipping the contraction today. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then slowly release, and do not let your foot twang. Oh, how did I do? It's bang on 7:30 on my watch, Nicola. Happy Friday. Have a good day at work. Oh, thanks, chaps. Are we all right? Are we all dying? Nah, Jane, you've got a beautiful camera angle.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Have a great weekend.
You too. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah.